Hi guys, so welcome to another session at Insights, and my name is Sudeep. I'm a faculty at Insights, and today we'll be talking about the mains advanced program that we are launching. And firstly, I would like to thank for such a very good response that we have received from the students. It was really overwhelming, and the reason why we are doing this video is a lot of students were calling us trying to ask the approach to this program and how helpful it is going to be. Right, so there were a lot of queries. So instead of answering all those queries, we thought that we'll make a short video for it so that everyone can benefit out of it. All right, so here goes the plan of how we want to approach mains regarding these three subjects. Okay, so starting with the program as such, we'll be dealing with these three. The reason for choosing these three is one, these three are kind of interrelated. You can play around in such a way that you can use the skills that you have developed in one part can be used in the other parts. Okay, that is the first thing. The second thing is in this particular the module, that is the geography, the disaster management and agriculture, the students are facing two things. One, there is lack of clarity. If you talk to them about, if you ask them in simplified language what is supply chain management, they are not able to explain it properly. If you ask them what is sustainable agriculture, they are not able to explain that properly. So that lack of clarity in the basics is there. That is the first part, and the reason for this is the lack of content. There is no comprehensive book that actually gives you clarity, especially about the basics. The second problem with these modules, what is happening is there is a wrong perception created that these modules are purely based on some current affairs. It is not true. Yes, there are some issue based questions that we being asked on these particular topics, but those issues can only be used to substantiate your answer which stands on basics. Okay, so once and until your basics are strong, your issues or current affairs only becomes kind of incomplete answer. It becomes widely evident to the examiner that you lack clarity in the content itself. Okay, so that is the main reason behind launching this program. That is this thing. So now let us see the importance of attending this program. The first point is it is going to be a very intensive program, guys. I mean, we will be trying to take at least 5 to 6 hours of classes every day so that the program finishes in 5 to 6 days. Okay, so the reason for this is we don't want to waste your time. We know that how important your time is and how much you have to cover in a very short period of time. So the main idea is to make sure that it is comprehensive, but it is very effective. So it is going to be intensive, so be prepared in your mind that it is going to be. That's the first thing. The second thing is the question and answer approach. See, usually what happens in the classes, we take a topic, we try to discuss on that topic, we try to make you understand about the topic, and that is how the classes goes. But now that approach will actually not work. We are trying to do two things at once. Okay, when you take the question answer approach, one, you are learning about the content, and two, you are also learning how to approach the particular question also. So the content part is also taken care of and the presentation part also is taken care of. So that is the main objective of using this approach. Okay, and obviously the three modules that we are going to discuss in this program, it carries around 140 plus marks. This is direct marks. Indirectly it has a lot of other effects, but directly we are speaking more or less about 140 marks. Right, now the basic needed to attack any type of questions. This is actually the most neglected part. Like in that questions, when they are asking about the questions, the basics, there is so much dilution in the basics. As I told earlier, like when you talk about supply chain management, okay, when you talk about the backward and forward linkages of agriculture, so all these things, there is so much lack of clarity in the students that it is becoming widely evident on the answers you write. So that basics can actually help you write a very good answer, though you kind of don't know exactly what they are asking. Let us assume that there is a question that is issue based and you don't know about the issue, but if you're strong enough in the basics, I think then you can how to attack that particular question to get at least average or somewhere nearby, right? So that will actually help you get that extra marks. And the next is the conceptual clarity. As we were talking about, you will get some conceptual clarity on all the bullet points that are there in the geography, disaster management, as well as your agriculture module. Okay. The next is issue based questions. We are going to frame some issue based questions, obviously, not some. Usually the program is designed in such a way that 65 to 70% of the questions that we are going to discuss is issue based. Okay, and then the next 30% of the question is going to be basics based. Okay, so where are we taking these sources? We are taking it from Kurukshetra, down to earth. We are not trying to source from any other internet. Okay, so how will you know that we are sourcing it? Because every question that we are going to discuss, I'm going to keep telling you the source from where I've taken, which month have I taken. So that gives you actually the credibility, and that gives you the belief that you're doing a comprehensive thing, that you're covered from different sources. All right, the next is the facets of answer writing. This is where I want people to make use of. This is where the entire game changes. If you are thinking, again I keep repeating this again and again, if you think that intellectually my answers will stand apart from the rest of the country and hence I will get a rank, that is a very wrong perception or a very wrong strategy. The facets of answer writing is where how well are you addressing the demands of the question, and how easier are you making the examiner understand what you want to express. These are the things that will actually make you stand out and get into the list. Okay, so this is where we are going to discuss. For example, see, I'll just give you, since we are running out of time, I'll just give you an example. If I talk about the role of climate change in indigenous population, usually what people will do, we are going to define indigenous population. We are going to then put a subheading climate change on indigenous population and dump all the points, how it affects them. Okay, so that is one way of putting it. But in geography, you should always take a spatial approach. What is spatial approach? That is regional approach. So if I put a subheading, impact of climate change on indigenous people, and then put a small subheading below it, like I'll talk about the Arctic, tribes in Arctic, then I'll talk about the tribes in deserts, then I'll talk about the tribes in forest, then I'll talk about the tribes in mountain, how individually the climate change is impacting these tribes at that particular region. I'm following a spatial approach. I have some template that has been made, and I can use this template in different places. Got it? So that is how you have to develop some templates, and that is how you create that impression on the examiner in a very fast you create that impression on the examiner at a very small time period that you get to impress him or her, right? So that is, these are the some of the main objectives why we are doing this program. So I hope you make a very good use of it. Finally, see, this was the most dominant question also. The students who were asking this. So the main question was, what will be the approach in the class, sir? Okay, so basically this is how it is. For every module, let us say that we are doing agriculture. So once we start agriculture, so there are different bullet points, right? So there is cropping pattern, there are different types of irrigation, then there is public distribution system, then there is food processing, supply chain management. So every topic that we take, what we are going to do is first basic knowledge about the topic. We are not going to dwell in depth here, because this is not a class. Okay, we are going to give you clarity enough that it should reflect in that answer. That is what my main concern is. Okay, so first we are going to discuss a little bit about the basics, not more time, but we are going to little bit discuss about it so that you get a clarity on that. The second is the previous year questions. We are going to discuss at least the last 2 years or 3 years of previous year questions on that relevant bullet point that we are going to do. Okay, so that will actually give you a clarity of how the questions are, because see, the main problem is you people are not analyzing the previous year questions. That is the reason even now when you're doing the mains preparation, you're so much tilted towards current affairs. You want to read that current affairs, you want to read this current affairs. If you read the previous year questions of UPSC, the questions are very broad. Okay, the questions require a lot of basic understanding and the basic approach with current affairs only to justify these points that you're writing. Got it? So, but if you are reading about the current affairs as such, then how can you add a value of basics? That is where previous year questions we are going to discuss to give you clarity on that, and then obviously the question and answer approach. Okay, so 30 questions in-depth discussion. That is, for agriculture, I am putting 30 questions, disaster management 15 questions, and geography we are putting 30 questions. Now these 30 questions I have designed it in such a way, 20 questions we have taken it from the sources. We will definitely tell you the sources. It may be Kurukshetra, Yojana, ICAR, we have taken it from down to earth. Whatever we have taken, we will definitely tell you the sources, and 20 questions will be issue based, okay, from the sources, and the 10 questions will be basics. Okay, we have designed it in such a way that if I complete the discussion of 30 questions, okay, you will not only get the basic clarity of agriculture, but also all the issues that has happened on agriculture. That is the main point. Okay, so that is the approach that we are going to follow. The next is, as I told you, this is the point that follows. The question and answer approach will be two things. One is basics, that is 10 questions of basics, and 20 questions of the issues that are happening. All right, so the next is when we are doing it, the reason why we are following the question and answer approach is, one, I told you it is the content that should get built up. The next is the answer approach, structuring and presentation. All right, here see, the reason why we are following the question and answer approach is, one, it is because the content is obviously getting built up when we are discussing the particular issue, and question and answer approach will help you in these three, that is answer approach, structuring and presentation. Okay, believe me that presentation is as important as the content. Please do not neglect on that, and that is where we are going to work upon for the next 5 to 6 days intensively. Okay, the next is completion with the end of the program. What this means is, my idea is Yes, we are going to give you materials, we are going to give you the value added things, we are going to give you the synopsis. But my idea is you should not take that and read it at all. My point is, in that 6 days, you are going to sit for 5 to 6 hours for the classes, you are going to write down whatever it is, and that should be the end of it. That should be the end of these 3 modules. You are not going to read anything new. You are not going to read anything outside this, what we are going to do. That is the main idea of this program. So the completion with the end of the program will be the completion of your preparation with respect to these modules. Okay, and all the facets of answer writing that we are going to discuss in this particular module is what you are going to be inculcating in all the test series wherever you are writing. Please make sure that you use these tricks. Okay, the next is obviously you will get the value added material and synopsis on the questions discussed. You will obviously get this, but my idea is I would have taken the essence of this and I have told already in the class. So my idea is we are giving this for the sake of giving it, but I don't want you to read it. Okay, I want your completion to be done by the end we complete the classes. Okay, so basically this is how my design of approaching these classes for these modules are. So I hope you make a very good use of it. Okay, so finally, other frequently asked questions which students are asking us is, what should be the level of preparation to join the program? See, the level of preparation, it need not be whichever level you are. Okay, so some people have already made their notes on agriculture as well as disaster management and geography. Some people have still not made the mains oriented notes, or they have still not prepared. Either level you are, what we can assure you is we are going to start from scratch and we are going to make sure that there is a comprehensive coverage of it. So either case you stand. For example, let us assume that you have made already the notes, you feel that you are good at it, you will be benefited by the facets of answer writing, the important skills that you have to develop. You will also be benefited by the issue based question answer approach. Obviously that will make use of it. And people who have not prepared any notes, let us say that you people will clear prelims, but you are not expecting to write mains, or you have not prepared for mains that much, and if you are facing the paucity of time, this is the best way to approach it. So in this way you can cover the bullet points, and also you get to know about the answer writing approach in a very short duration of time. So I would say either case, whether you have done the mains preparation comprehensively or you are still preparing for it, you go for it. That we can assure you about the quality aspects of it. The next is, what if I did not clear prelims? See, the reality is you clear or do not clear, you aspire to become an officer, and for that you have to write answers, and for that you have to appear for mains. So if you appear for this, I mean, do not have that attitude that I don't clear prelims. You have the attitude that you have to write mains eventually, so you have to prepare on this. So the point is, you don't have to worry about this itself. I feel that question itself is not valid. Alright, eventually, okay, let us say that a few students couldn't clear this time, you will eventually anyway clear the next time, and next time, why do you want to wait for the module? Now, even if you don't clear prelims, let us assume that hypothetically you don't, then you are not going to sit and study for prelims. You actually have time to prepare for mains. So now it's the time for you to prepare comprehensively. So again, you can go ahead with it. The next is, what materials are available. We already have told you, value added material on every module. That is, if there is agriculture, on cropping patterns you will get some content, on irrigation you will get some content. So whatever basics part is there, that value additions you will get, and obviously the synopsis on all the questions that we have discussed we will get. But I've already told you the idea. The idea is not to depend on that. The idea is to make sure that you concentrate and you intensely focus on completing the entire thing by the end of 5 to 6 days that we are going to keep discussing. All right. The next is, I am a fresher, can I join? Definitely you can, but provided you have done some level of studies, at least the NCERT studies. If you are just passed out of the college, if you don't even know the syllabus, then I would not advise you to join the program, because it is kind of an advanced program, so you will kind of remain out of place. But if you, let us say you have done some NCERT studies, and you have done some studies on basics of prelims, and you are now looking of how to start your mains preparation, then you can go ahead and join. Otherwise I would not advise you to. The last thing is, it is going to be very intense, guys. So if you are not serious about it, don't just join for the sake of it. All right, if you seriously are looking for ways to improve yourself, to keep pushing yourself, please go ahead and join this program. I can assure you that it is going to be a very qualitative experience. All right, so see, the prelims results will be out and you will have very less duration, so you have to work very smart. Either ways, what you join or you don't join, just remember that you have to be very smart in what you do. Okay, so I hope you do the smart work. You don't try to fall into the trap of reading too many things. Study less, write more. Okay, so this is about the program. I hope it has been informative. Thank you so much, guys.